Hello.
Hello, ma'am. You can start.
About our topic towards green energy. And as you know, Bachatraban from Vikroi Parkside MPS Secondary School, and we had our two lectures in the last week. Topic which we have discussed about whatever we have seen So then we also saw the primary needs for good life, like food, clothing, shelter, and how energy is also becoming the fourth basic need of good life. So moving to our next slide, then we have gone through how electricity is generated. We studied about the principle of Michael Faraday about electromagnetic induction. We have seen the figure, so just revise it. So then how generator works, that also we saw in our last lecture. Then how does the turbine work, that was also seen by us in our previous lecture. Then to drive the turbine, how it requires power or energy source, proper energy source, that also we have seen. Then we saw the flow chart of electrical energy generation. And after all this, now we have gone through how does power plant based on thermal power works. So if you can remind after looking this picture, try to revise you have learned during this process. Okay. So just have an overview what we have learned about the thermal flow schematic diagram of thermal power plant, power generation station stages of thermal power, problems related to thermal power plant. So after studying in detail about thermal power plant, we moved to our next power plant, that was nuclear power plant. Here also we went through the points we learned while studying about nuclear power plant. That is, we have seen the flow chart of nuclear power plant, how it works. Then we have seen that schematic diagram of nuclear power plant. And we have also seen the advantages and major power plants in India where they are located, and the problems which are related to nuclear power plant, that radiations and etc. Okay, so then we compared both similarities and differences in both power plants. Now, let's move on to our next topic, that is natural gas-based electric power plant. So how does this power plant work? So in this type of power plant, the turbine is run by a gas at very high temperature and pressure. That is the pressure generated by combustion of natural gas. Now let's have a look and see the flow chart. Pressurized air, see here in this figure, the pressurized air is introduced into the combustion chamber using a compressor. So in the combustion chamber, the natural gas burns in the presence of the air, and the gas at very high temperature and pressure generated in this chamber runs the turbine to produce electricity. So this is what we have seen about the flow chart of natural gas power plant. So now let's have a look on transformation of energy in power plant using energy of natural gas. So how does it work? Here the chemical energy present in the natural gas gets generated, gets converted into kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy generated due to combustion of natural gas is then converted into kinetic energy in the turbine, and this kinetic energy in the turbine generates electrical energy. So after this, just have a look on the difference between both thermal and natural gas power plant. So look at the picture. What difference do you observe? See here how this power generation plant is is having a air pollution. So there is some network issue today. So just we will revise it. You can easily compare that the efficiency of natural gas power plant is higher than that of power generation plant based on coal. See, both you can difference by a glance only. So moreover, since the natural gas does not contain sulfur, the burning of pollution during natural gas generation. So just have a look on some and their capacities and of natural gas in the capacity 2020 megawatt in Samralkota. There is a power plant in the state of Maharashtra and its capacity is 2220 megawatt in Anjanvel. In the state of Delhi, the capacity of the power plant is 1500 megawatt. And in Andhra Pradesh again, the capacity is 1466 megawatt in Kondapalli. So this was the capacities of the power plant, major power plants in India. Students, always remember, energy is unavoidable in our day-to-day life. That is, we need energy, but it is necessary to use it carefully and only in the required amount. When we go out of a room, we have to switch off the fan, we have to switch off the light, we have to switch off the television or anything that is on during our use. So when we go or when the use is finished, then we have to switch off the electrical appliances that we have used. So now generation based on fossil fuels and nuclear like environmental degradation. So these are energy sources and they are not eco-friendly. That means they are not environment friendly. So burning of fossil fuels like coal and natural gas leads to emission of certain gases and soot particles, and this results in air pollution. The environment is affected 6% air emitted during burning of adversely health. So global warming is also an example of increasing percentage of carbon dioxide in air due to burning of fuels, and it affects the environment severely. So this phenomena results means the air pollution which is going to be held due to the thermal power plant, nuclear power plant, and the natural gas power plant. These power plants affect the nature and the environment, and this leads to global warming. Okay. And nitrogen dioxide generated due to burning of fuels like coal, diesel, petrol, etc. leads to problems like acid rain. Means the acid rain, if this rain touches our body, we can severely be affected by skin problems, and this is very adversely affected on our health also. So soot particles generated due to incomplete burning of fossil fuel cause air pollution. It can lead to problems related to respiratory system like asthma. Look at the person, he is affected by respiratory system. He is not able to take or inhale or exhale oxygen and carbon dioxide in his lungs because he has asthma. Okay, and this asthma, it is due to air pollution around him. These soot particles generate uh, pollution in the environment where this person lives. Okay, so we have already discussed about the problems in our previous lesson, but here we are going to see that it took millions of years for formation of fossil fuels. Now the thousands of years is required to make a layer of coal. So fossil fuels like coal, crude oil, and natural gas, they require millions of years. Now the reserves of these fuels are limited, means they are quite limited in our future. They are going to deplete in future. They will exhaust in future. So it is said that with the current speed of their use, the coal reserves in the world would last for another about 200 years or so, and the natural gas reserves for about 200 to 300. So after 200 years, what will our future generation use? So it is a very big problem to our future generation. So we have to use it in a limited period and for limited. So we have already discussed about the problems in of natural energy like the disposal of nuclear waste and possibility of disaster due to accident in uh, nuclear power plant. Considering all these points, it can be said that the energy generation from fossil fuels and nuclear fuels, we can say that this is that they costed the. Now let's move next topic. Now look in this picture. What do you observe? There, these are the non-conventional energy sources which we have discussed in our previous lectures. So generation from water reservoir, wind, sunlight, So moreover, use of these sources do not lead to environmental problems discussed, which we have discussed before this. So therefore, electricity generation through these sources can be called environment friendly. And we can also call the energy generated by these processes as green energy. So electricity production may occur with the help of these non-conventional energy sources. So looking at the problems in electricity generation using fuels like coal, natural gas and nuclear fuels, now the world is now heading towards environment friendly energy sources, that is green energy. Scientists are doing some experiments that how can we generate electricity without using the conventional energy sources. So now we will move towards our first non-conventional energy source, that is our green energy source, and study about it in detail. So today first we will learn about hydroelectric energy. So what is mean by hydro? Hydro means water, and hydroelectricity energy means the electricity produced with the help of water. So just have a look on the flow chart. So what you see, the different stages in hydroelectric power plant. So what do you see? That the potential energy in water drives the water turbine, and the turbine drives the generator, and the generator generates the electricity. So by observing energy generation using water energy, we come to know that the potential energy in water is converted into kinetic energy in flowing water, and it is converted into kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy is converted into into electrical. By looking at this hydroelectric plant, we see a sluice gate. Look here, there is a sluice gate, there is a reservoir, there is a wall, there is a penstock, and here there is a turbine, there is a generator. And see this picture in your textbook. It is there in your textbook. Some points here. In the left hand, there are 3 points, A, B, and C. And what are they? We will see it later. Okay. So look at this picture. This is the picture of hydroelectric power plant. So what do you see here? So the water in the hydroelectric power plant means in a dam. The dam where this energy is created or generated, it has the water energy. So the kinetic energy of the flowing water drives the turbine. So the turbine in turn drives the generator to generate electricity. So in this way, the energy of water is used to generate the electricity. And as we discussed, we kinetic and C. Is correct? We will create more energy. And why not A and C? So let's see. So what will be the effect on electricity generation if the channel taking water to turbine starts at point A? So if we start the water from the point A, what will happen? We will see now. So if the channel taking water starts at point A, then the turbine will stop once the water level goes beyond point A, and amount of electricity generation will be less. Means when there is scarcity of water, water gets evaporated, what happens? The level of the water decreases, and due to it, the water level goes beyond the point, and due to it, we can't create or we can't generate electricity. So if the point C, if we take the point at C, so if the channel taking water starts at point C, then height between the point from where water falls and the turbine will be reduced to greater extent. So if the height, what happens here, the kinetic energy of flowing water will decrease, and the amount of electricity generation will be less. The height here will not match this electricity generation. So the flow of water, the kinetic energy in it decreases. So I hope so you have understood the working of hydroelectric power plant. So after step C, where are these types of hydroelectric power plants and where they are located in India? So Uttarakhand 2,400 megawatt in Tehri. So again, one power plant is some at Maharashtra. In Maharashtra state, the capacity is 1,900. So what is here? Do you know that lake tapping at Koina Hydroelectric Project was carried out in 2012 to boost power supply? So what is this? What is mean by lake tapping, and why it takes place? What is this process? Let's see. So a lake tap involves excavating a tunnel. Means the tunnel is excavated almost to the water or rock, or it is and with the rock, and then it is protect rock is to allow water to suddenly inflow into the tunnel from the lake. So the why this is been done, and when was it done? The first lake tapping was carried out at Koyna Dam 13 years ago in April 2012 at the date 26. On April 26, 2012 it was done. So this process allows the lake water to flow down from that tunnel. So this type of is done. What is and to decrease the lake water? If the so now let's have a look on the advantages of hydroelectric power plant. So what are the advantages? So here in this type of power plant, no fuel is burnt in the plant. So we saw that there is no burning of any fuel. Hence, there is no pollution. So there we have seen no pollution is created and this results resulting from combustion of fuels, means no fuel is burnt and no combustion is done in this type of power plant. So this is pollution free hydroelectric power plant, and this is the first advantage of this power plant. Now, if there is sufficient water storage in the dam, it is possible to generate electricity as and when necessary. But it requires more water in the dam. So the dam must be full of water, sufficient water should be there in the dam. So water reservoirs used for proper generation can be replenished during rainy season, and this ensures uninterrupted power generation. This type of can store water and high potential in water. These are problems also associated to this hydroelectric power plant. So what are they? So the problems which are associated with this hydroelectric power plant are that it affects large land area gets submerged, means the area around the dam, it gets submerged, and the problems of rehabilitation of the displaced population, means people have to displace themselves to area where they were living. So this can lead to displacement and rehabilitation of that population which was living near the river. Okay, the submerging of forests as well as fertile land, and so fertile land which is around that river, it also gets affected due to this creation of dam. So in this, the dam is created on a river. The water is in of the river is obstructed and it gets disturbed. The flowing water of river affects the aquatic life, which is have a adverse effect on the aquatic life, means the uh, fishes or the aquatic animals present in the river gets affected due to this hydroelectric power plant. So these were the problems which were associated with this type of power plant. So in this way, we have studied about Hello, Varsha ma'am.